Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Papa Boris here, playing some more Through the Ages. This is going to be my second attempt to make a video in which I play against a human being. We're doing the base game with the updates to cards from the expansion, digital rules, which I'll talk about. Super Blitz is just the fastest time speed. And you might be thinking, Boris, are you not aware of how technology works? You could have done this, waited for someone to show up, and then begun recording. But for this particular video, I wanted to talk about something while we wait for someone to show up, and I'll make a cut if I need to. But that is tiers. If you go to the Board Game Geek forums for Through the Ages, a lot of the strategy posts that have persisted over time are like tier guides where people rate cards based on top tier, middle tier, bottom tier, or assign star ratings, which is basically the same thing. And I just wanted to say, for anyone trying to get better at the game, I personally think that this popular idea of ranking cards by tiers is not a great way to get good. Because, yes, there is some value to understanding, for example, that like in Age 1, alchemy is a more important card than, say, drama. And if you always build alchemists, you're going to be handicapping yourself a lot less than if you always build dramas. But, like, that's a very basic piece of information. And ultimately, I think that really great players win because they take bad cards. Like, they know that one time out of 100, when it's actually correct to take a card that's considered not very good or is considered just marginal. Whereas people who make these hard and fast rules where you just pretty much always take a certain card because you think it's good, and then you just never take some other card because you think it's bad, and you basically treat that card as if it were like a blank card on the board that does nothing. I think that that's gonna, if you take that attitude, it's gonna put like a ceiling on your ability to get good. Okay, so we're up first here. I think it's general better to be up first than second. Something to consider, I do think Engineering Genius is a very important card. So right now, if I take a card out of this, it's going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm not going to be able to get it on turn 1. But my opponent's going to be able to get it on turn 2. If I let Engineering Genius fall here, there's a chance after my turn it'll be here, but my opponent just has to take Hanging Gardens, and then he guarantees that he gets it. So it kind of sucks. My opponent's getting an Engineering Genius. So what I'm going to do is just grab the Hanging Gardens. I think it's the better wonder between it and the Colossus. It is a little bit scary to let the opponent have Julius Caesar and Colossus. That's a lot of strength. But I just think this is a better wonder in the long term, so we're going to grab it. A case could be made, honestly, for taking Aristotle, who is a great leader, who gives you science whenever you pick up a technology card. And that's just, a decent chunk of science can make a pretty big difference all game long. Whoa, that's very bizarre. These are the exact two cards I wouldn't have taken. I think taking Caesar and Colossus was correct there, but certainly Aristotle's a fine card. It just sucks to throw away one of your picks on a card that just gives you a food. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and make a mine and raise population, and then think. So Homer gives you smiley face, and then that smiley face becomes permanent if you don't get your civil action back when you replace them with another leader and you improve a wonder that you've built. The thing is, I've already got Hanging Gardens, so it's kind of limiting the value of an extra smiley face. Hammurabi is an interesting one. The main problem with Hammurabi is that it's kind of hard to take advantage of his extra civil action on the first 2 turns, and I don't see that getting any better anytime soon. Like, if I take him and play him, what am I doing with the extra action? Getting a rock from urban growth, and then next turn, what? Engineering Genius is going to be gone. I've already got a wonder under construction. I'm not going to be able to use his extra actions next turn. After that, it is useful to have him. That is definitely true. So, it's a tough call. I think I'll still take him, but I think you could have made a good case for Caesar here. The extra military action to get more military cards could set you up for strategies down the road. Like, for example, he lets you draw, 50% more cards, so you're more likely to find a good colony for Columbus. You're more likely to find aggressions if you get ahead. You're more likely to find good strength-based events. And being able to play 2 political actions per turn is also something not to be scoffed at. But lots of tough stuff there. So my opponent is going to make a mine, raise population, play Aristotle, and take Engineering Genius, I'm guessing. I can't see it going any other way. He'll be able to get the pyramids, because I've already got a wonder under construction, and pyramids is going to be in this spot, so it's going to fall to him on his next turn. That's what I would do, and gosh, I'd be hard-pressed if there's any other play here that's better than that. So he's going to have a pretty good situation where he will, thanks to this frugality, which I still don't think is a great card to take, he'll be a little bit closer to being able to raise his population. Whoa. He took engineering genius and frugality. Okay, well, Aristotle gives you a civil action, or sorry, a science whenever you pick up a tech card. So he's one of the leaders you can kind of hold off on playing because he doesn't actually do anything immediately. And my opponent's strange play here does allow him to get the pyramids regardless, and then play Aristotle. It's an interesting strategy. It does mean that he's going to use up all of his actions to good effect on the next turn. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. So Pestilence, I think I'm actually going to play it. Hanging Gardens in the corrected, well, the updated version gives you an extra 2 food when you complete it. So I should be more likely than my opponent to have extra workers. He is going to get 2 extra food from Frugality, which is like 2/3 of an extra worker, but I think this is worth going for. All right, I can get a free warrior. Well, that is exactly the one card I do not want to take advantage of. I don't want any warriors right now. What I want is to make a lab and then raise population. And see, here we have 3 civil actions and just like nothing good to do with them is the main thing. So what do? I mean, I could commit to Code of Laws. The problem is that Urban Growth and Richland are both pretty bad. I could take reserves, which is, well, the same problem, really. Spending 3 civil actions is just tough here. Michelangelo is definitely a leader I want to take because with Hanging Gardens, he makes 2 extra culture per turn. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so Code of Laws, tempting, but I do have Hammurabi for the moment, so I'm going to grab reserves. We'll pick up, see, Urban Growth, you can upgrade your labs. Richland, you can upgrade one of your farms or mines if you happen to get that stuff. It depends on whether alchemy comes out or not. I guess we'll take the rich land. It's safer. There's 2 techs that would build with it, as opposed to just the 1 from the urban growth. But it's just a rock either way, so it's not a super huge deal. Okay, inhabited territory is a good colony. This does make Columbus more valuable. So I could consider that, but no, I think I'm going to be taking Michelangelo. So he flipped the event of development of civil life. You basically get to build a building, or develop a technology, or raise your population, and it costs 1 resource less. Sometimes it hits at an awkward time and you can't do anything with it, which is the actual case for me right here. I am 1 food short of being able to raise my population. I've already built my lab, so I'm going to actually be just passing on that. There's simply nothing good to do with it. I mean, I could build a temple with this worker and pay 2 rocks for it. I don't know if that's possibly... it does give an extra culture for Michelangelo, but the problem is the free temple event, for all I know, could still be in there. Then that would just be a complete waste of 2 rocks. Yeah, I'm just going to be passing, bad as that feels. Do I put colonies in? Well, my opponent is going to have more cards than me, so he's more likely to get defense cards for bonus colonization. And St. Peter's is here. Michelangelo, Hanging Garden, St. Peter's is a really, really good combo for lots of culture. Then as long as you can keep up on strength, you're going to be fine. So we're going to not play any politics. I am sadly going to pass on this. This is actually really unlikely that you pass on 2 Age A events and get literally no benefit from them. It's quite sad. We'll take Michelangelo. There's no need to play him yet. Question is whether I grab this iron. There's some logic to this, because if you go for Michelangelo, he basically gives you an extra culture for each happy face on your wonders and theaters and temples. And he also makes it so that it does not cost extra civil actions to put a wonder under construction for the wonders you've already built. And with that, you really want to have good resources. So I'm actually going to make this grab. We're going to take the iron. And it's awkward now. I'd love to pick up this rich land, but the problem with picking up the rich land is that I'm out of card space. So what I could do is just make a couple of stages of this wonder. The idea is that then next turn, I can play the iron, upgrade it with rich land, play reserves. Let me see, this is going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I need to finish the Hanging Gardens. And I think I can do that. I can spend 1 action to finish Hanging Gardens, 1 to research iron, 1 to upgrade the iron. I don't have enough. It would be too expensive. This is an AJ instead of an Age 1. So I'd have to be, so let's count. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hey, look at that actual useful thing. 1, 2, 3 to upgrade, 4 to finish. And I have 1 action left, and I cannot take St. Peter's. So I go ahead, unless I actually go ahead and just pop in Michelangelo with my bonus action, get a civil action back, and then pick up St. Peter's. Yeah, that's what it's got to have to be. Oh, wait a minute. If I do that, I actually get a bonus rock, so I could use this rich land. Interesting. That's going to be a pretty tricky turn. So I could play iron, put down Michelangelo, finish the Wonder, take St. Peter's, get a bonus rock, and upgrade an iron. So Masonry's gone, which is a shame, because that would have been a good one for a wonder building strategy. But all right, we'll see how this goes. So this is kind of a tricky spot, because I mean, alchemy is obviously really good. Just getting alchemy online is something to consider. But I'm going to go ahead and make the bold, aggressive move here. No need to play politics. We're going to research the iron, put down Michelangelo, finish the Wonder, grab St. Peter's, upgrade a mine. And I still could take alchemy, couldn't I? Interesting how that worked out. I could also raise population. Well, when am I actually going to do my alchemists? It depends on whether I'm planning to rush St. Peter's or not. Right now, I'm 2 rocks shy of being able to build St. Peter's. If one of these stupid AJ events had given 2 bonus rocks, that would have been kind of nice. When am I going to put alchemy down? I don't know. If I raise population now, what am I doing next turn? I could play reserves and upgrade both my mines, I guess. If my opponent does not push military strength. He can take swordsman, get the bonus science from Aristotle, and then research swordsman and upgrade them both. Then he'd be at 4, which would be scary. And I do have a defense card, so I could block that. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is pass on this alchemy. Let's just... I only have 4 civil actions, and I'm trying to build a wonder that costs 3 civil actions. So let's just be very aggressive about not being in civil action debt. That's like a concept I use sometimes to help myself make what I hope are good decisions. Well, actually, you can really do debt of any kind, not just civil action debt, but like any kind of resource debt occurs when you are planning to spend a resource to do something, but you're not doing it yet. Like, for example, right now, I'm in debt for 6 rocks because I'm planning to upgrade both of these mines, which would cost 6 rocks to do, but I haven't done it yet. I'm in debt also for 8 rocks because I'm planning to build this thing, but I haven't built it yet. So if you keep food and you're planning to eventually increase your population, with that food, you're kind of in debt for 1 civil action because that's a civil action down the road in the future that you're planning to use to upgrade your population. Okay, so my opponent, if we just take stock of his situation, he has 6 civil actions, which is a monumental amount of civil actions. Because he got the pyramids for 1, and he also rushed Code of Laws, thanks to Aristotle's bonus science. But he's in a bit of a weird spot where he hasn't even built his 2nd lab, so apart from Aristotle, his science production is low. Basically, Aristotle is replacing what his 2nd lab should have been doing, so he's not actually getting ahead on science. He doesn't have any culture generation. He's got no production going on. I think that basically his main thing now, and I'm not saying I'm winning, like right now I'm very vulnerable because I have no military stuff whatsoever and swordsmen pass me by. I'm really vulnerable to military conquest, so basically the main thing my opponent I think should be doing in his position is trying to get ahead of me on military. So that's what he's doing. He's picking up swordsmen, very smart. This is an aggressive play by my opponent. Instead of actually researching swordsmen and making his improvements, he decided to play a phalanx. It's actually a really clever play because now he's telegraphing to me he's going to get these knights, which he totally can with all these actions. And the bonus science he gets from picking them up lets him actually research them. He doesn't have any workers, though. He doesn't have a person with whom to actually make a knight. That's interesting. So I don't necessarily have to spend 2 civil actions picking up knights. What's in this deck? Yeah, the other swordsmen and the other knights are both in there, so I could get a little bit frisky and let these knights just sit here. Alright, I'm definitely not doing politics. So, I mean, I could actually do this, try to pick up cartography, but no. So what I'm going to do is play reserves and upgrade both of my mines. So I've got that taken care of. If I pick up another reserves, I can actually build St. Peter's next turn. That would be my last civil action. Now, other options, I got 3 minutes to go in this age. Okay, so another option besides that is I could play rich, take a rich land, which would let me upgrade this next turn for only 1 rock, and thus save 2 rocks. It's kind of like saving, but then I'm not getting the production right now. I don't know if that's smart. I mean, I'd basically be doing those kind of things to justify taking knights right now. So I could grab the knights and snipe them out from under my opponent. No, I think I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and upgrade both of these. And my last action, I mean, breakthrough for 2 science is pretty good. He's almost certainly going to take the alchemy. He might not. He's got the printing press. Maybe he won't take alchemy. I'm not sure. It's just tough to justify taking reserves because it's an action to take it and an action to also play it, and that's just rough. But if my opponent is just asleep at the wheel, I could play reserves next turn and build the St. Peter's Basilica. My main concern is what if he decides to go for Genghis, but the thing is he still doesn't have a worker. Like, Genghis would allow him to basically complete his phalanx for just using warriors, but he still doesn't have an extra worker to make a warrior with. Alright, this is maybe a mistake, so I'm just going to call it out that I might be wrong here. But I'm going to grab these reserves. I'm going to pitch the colony. Got 2 defense cards. Maybe actually I should have spent 2 military actions to take his tactic. That might have been a correct play. And then when the other copy of Knights comes out, which it's going to come out because there weren't that many cards left in the deck. So the other copy of Knights comes out, and then I can try to, like, basically build his phalanx. And then if I build a phalanx, I'm pretty safe from any kind of aggressions in the near future. So right now my main concern is he takes Alchemy and Knights, and that would land Knights in the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that would land these Knights in the bitch spot, which really sucks. And I think I would have to spend... It would feel horrible to spend half my turn taking them, but if I don't take these Knights, and then the cavalry in Age 2 don't show up anytime soon, I could be in a lot of trouble. Wow, I never would have guessed that. Whoa, that was a crazy move. I'm just speechless. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying I'm the world's best player. But okay, so what he did was he put the Great Wall under construction. So that's bonus strength for each of your infantry and artillery units. And he let the Alchemy go and the Knights go. So I could make a frisky play here. Actually, I'm gonna play these new deposits. That gives me 6 extra rocks and only 3 extra rocks to him. Oh, that's amazing. Oh my god, that's really fantastic. So I get 2 extra rocks. Okay, so I can actually build St. Peter's without having to play these reserves. And then I could take 1 more card. And what do I take? Well, Alchemy would be good for science. Knights would be great. I could do a really frisky play. Instead of building St. Peter's now, I could wait. I could take these Knights, prevent my opponent from getting Knights, and then if the cavalry don't show up early in H2, he could be hard-pressed to finish this phalanx. Gosh, that's a really, really goofy play. Alright, you know what, though? I love it. Let's go ahead and take the Knights, research Knights, make a Knight, make a warrior, and what else? Do I take Alchemy? I think down the road, Alchemy would be really good. So we're going to pick up Alchemy. It's a tough call. Definitely, there's a good argument to be made for building the first stage of St. Peter's or raising my population, just so that I can, like, relieve some of the pressure of my civil actions in the future. See, I really wish I had actually taken his phalanx last turn, because now I'd actually be ahead of strength on him, and I'd break ties on these events. If he put some nasty event in here... Oh god, I forgot I put Pestilence in here. Oh my god. Oh shoot, that's so bad. Oh! So, Pestilence is really, really bad if you don't have any workers in your pool, because it means you have to lose a worker from a building. It's a horrible play that I just made. I should have not taken Alchemy. I should have absolutely raised my population, so I'd have a worker to lose to Pestilence. So there's a 1 in 4 chance if he plays an event that I get screwed. He's not super screwed. He loses this idle worker and it causes revolt, but he has the food to make the worker back. Granted, then when we lose 2 yellow pips at the start of H2, which we already did that. Yeah, so he's fine. Right? Is he fine? He makes this. This gives him a happy face. Yeah, he's totally fine. Okay. So you got Leonardo Da Vinci, which gives him an extra science and an extra rock whenever he researches a tech. At this point, even after I steal the phalanx, I'm still behind on strength. But that's okay, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. I don't want to be 4 behind on strength. Let's pop this baby over. So see, now I'm forfeiting 2 military card draws from H2, whereas had I done this earlier, I could have forfeited 2 from H1, which would have been much better. Okay. So here, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and build St. Peter's. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with my actions. Obviously, I want to go Alchemy. I want to raise population. Actually, I want to take Irrigation. I want to take Swordsman. There's a lot of stuff I want to take. But I'm going to go ahead and raise population to guard against the Pestilence that I've put in there myself. And my thinking is there's this Rifleman here. Unless my opponent is a very aggressive player, I doubt that with Swordsman he's going to take the Rifleman away from me for 2 civil actions. I just really doubt he'll do that. If he does, it might be a good play, and I might have been wrong to give him the opportunity to do that. So I'm only 1 strength behind him. Obviously, things like, what's that? The really bad one. Uncertain borders. That's the one you're always kind of worried about. That's bad. Border conflict is a pretty bad one for me. Reign of terror is bad. I don't want to lose population. If there's reign of terror in there and my pestilence, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. So what he's probably going to do is take this irrigation. My main weakness now is, so I got this phalanx, so I'm kind of okay on strength. I do have 1 worker to play with. Took, what did he take? All right, so he built a drama. Okay, so he's trying to catch up on culture. I would question my opponent's strategy in doing what he's doing, because he's trying to catch up on culture, making a theater, but he's just not going to catch up to me. I'm already like a bunch ahead and still getting further ahead each turn, and he's not going to catch up by doing this sort of stuff. What he should have done, I think, is pushed military. Okay, but anyway, we're not playing politics, so I could actually research Rifleman and get it right now, and I would go ahead of my opponent, kind of gambling that there's going to be, that this event is like a bad event. But he didn't take your... You know what? I'm just going to do irrigation. Let's go ahead and get this. I'm just going to spend my whole... Oh, no. I'm not going to spend my whole turn on that. My opponent left the Rifleman. I have to take those. That would be crazy not to. And there are leaders here. This guy is actually very tempting, to be honest. You spend your military actions instead of your civil actions to do a revolution. That means you can get a Conmon for 6 science or a Republic for 3. And I don't want the Republic, really. Oh, it's only 2. The upgraded version is 2. It's 2 science. That's really good. But I don't want to pass up on Napoleon is the thing. Napoleon is just so amazing because that would be like an 8 strength swing. One of us is almost certainly taking him. And I don't want to lock in a leader because then that means that like I'm guaranteed to not be able to take Napoleon. Well, what I'm going to do here is I will upgrade a farm and end my turn. It does suck that I'm just a little bit behind in case that event that he put in there really is like uncertain borders or something like that. But their selective breeding, this actually is the best possible outcome. Yeah, we always... Oh, this is actually nice. He used up all his workers, but I have an extra worker, so now he has to lose a worker from one of his things. And it goes back in this spot, and it'll take 2 turns for him to get the food back to rebuild that worker on just these farms. So, actually, you know what? I'm afraid of something. I think he's going to spend 3 pips to take selective breeding. He's got 6 civil actions. That's the one thing he's had. Oh, constitutional monarchy's already been taken. I kind of missed that. Okay. Anyway, so, yeah, I think he's going to take selective breeding. He's got a zillion actions. He knows how desperate... What am I talking about? I already got irrigation. Oh, my God, I'm stupid. Okay, so he needs selective breeding really badly. It would take me half of my actions for the turn to hate draft this from him. But if he doesn't take it for 3, I think I would take it for 2. I really do. It's just so good to get this and prevent him from being able to get any more workers, especially because I am ahead on culture quite a bit. I've got like double his culture. He's gonna get some culture at the end of this turn, I suppose. Yeah, he took it for 3. Smart play. That was the right play. Oh, he's going big for culture with Shakespeare. Oh, I missed this. That was his plan all along, wasn't it? Oh my God, that was. So Shakespeare is a leader you don't often see. Happy face. And then libraries and theaters, having one makes the others a lot cheaper to build and research, and each pair gives him extra 2 culture. So he's actually getting a very respectable amount of culture. And his leader is age 2 as opposed to mine is age 1, so he's going to be in pretty good shape. Oh, man. I think I underestimated this opponent. So now... Crap. Well, there's a few different things I could do here. I could research alchemy and upgrade a couple of labs. I could say screw alchemy and take scientific method. But what I'm kind of tempted by is just to leave things the way they are, because journalism, if I don't take any of these 3 cards, journalism could be in my wheelhouse. These wonders are both very tempting. This would give me an extra yellow token, and then I could raise the population for free each round. This is 2 culture per turn. I lose a happy face, which is okay because I have St. Peter's. And then it would give me an extra actions, which is important, especially if I am going to get Republic. It'd be important to get an extra military action. Okay. Let's do the Kremlin, and let's just build it. And then I could actually pick up the ocean liner service as well, which is interesting. This thing only costs 10 rocks. We do have new deposits in here. You know what? F it. Let's put this thing under construction. Let's get them both. Oh, this is turning into quite the intense game. Okay, well, I'm going to throw away the... This is a tricky one. So this could be good, really good, to destroy his stuff if I get ahead of him on military action later. These would be good if he shows up any colonies. This is a tactics card. I don't want to throw that away in case that's the only thing I've got, and it's much better than my phalanx. It's twice as good. I'm going to throw away defense card. If he put a colony in, then so be it. I'm going to be sad about that. But those are going to be discarded at the beginning of age 3 anyways, and I want to keep my options open. Okay, so we got lots of stuff here. Man. So now he actually could get ahead of me on culture. Ah, the food. He can actually raise his population early. All right, so my new deposits are here. All right, what are we going to do? My main issue here is science. But next turn, I could research journalism, take it, research it, play reserves, make a population, and build it. I don't have any events to trigger my new deposits, which would have made it unnecessary to play these reserves. Oh, man. That would give me 2 science and 2 culture per turn. I think I do need to kind of fight on culture a bit since he got Shakespeare. My main thing right now that's helping me out is that he doesn't have a good source of workers yet. He needs workers to get these dramas and printing presses up and running. But he does have selective breeding, so I'm guessing he probably researches it. He can play reserves and upgrade both of his things. Each one costs 4. Then he goes up to 5 food production a turn. Yeah, then he can start cranking workers out. Oh man, I could be in a lot of trouble. Weird. This game, I think my opponent outplayed me. Now I'm the one who's like, I kind of need to be the one to try to get ahead on military to put some pressure on my opponent. Okay, so he decided to get his army up. Oh, that's right. He's had this phalanx this whole time. Oh, man, that really shoots up his strength. Shit. So now I'm behind on strength. Quite a bit. There's Napoleon. Well, can I hold off a turn? Let's see. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I wish I had another one. Then I could have done 5. Well, crap. This is bad. So I don't have enough science to research strategy. I think I gotta research these riflemen. Oh man, this is so bad because then I can't even research alchemy next turn. Did he take journalism? Oh, he took journalism. I wasn't expecting him to take journalism because he already has printing press, but he bamboozled me on that. The fact that I can't research alchemy next turn is a real problem because I let the scientific methods go by, and if I don't get alchemy down now, then I'm gonna be in rough shape. I did draw a lot of aggressions from H2, so he's less likely to have them. But it would be disastrous if he had another... Oh, actually, do I have all the raids? I got both raids. So he can steal a colony, kill my leader, steal my science, which I don't have that much of, or steal my resources. I could take a risk. I could just research alchemy and upgrade both my labs. Oh, there's the Republic. It's in the bitch spot, so if I don't take it now... I could just skip it and go for an age 3 government, I guess. I could actually just take Napoleon. Get 4 strength that way. Then I could still research alchemy and upgrade it. It does pass up 4 culture. And I lose actions. If I wait on Napoleon, I spend a lot fewer civil actions on him. Gah. Jeez. This is a tough situation. And also the reserves. I have another turn I can wait on the reserves. It's not urgent yet. Are both cannons in the back? Yeah, both cannons are in the back. Man, okay. I'm going to decide this. Since he can't raid my labs because I drew both raids, I'm going to fix my science situation. And with my last 2 actions, well, I could take Engineering Genius to help build this. What I'm actually going to do, maybe, this is greedy. I'm thinking about architecture. Strategy is quite important, but I can't get up the science to make strategy. He really can't either at the moment. And I'm going to have Napoleon. So architecture is tempting so I can build this wonder faster, but I think the main issue really is just that I don't have enough science. Let's say next turn I research architecture, play reserves, and I would have, what, 7 plus 2 is 9? I still wouldn't have enough rocks if new deposits does not get tripped. Oh, God. See, Engineering Genius is tempting to build a stage of the Wonder for free and start getting workers. Man, I regret this choice. I was a little bit too greedy. I really wish it was like the Eiffel Tower or something, just giving me culture instead of this, which gives me workers, and I don't necessarily know what to do with the workers at the moment since I don't have any other urban buildings. I guess they'll be helpful for building an army if I decided to go for an army game. God. Okay. I am going to raise population, grab 3 science, because I think I need science, and we're just going to see how this shakes out. So I want the Napoleonic army rather than this, because it's just more. This is not going to help me, so I'm just going to throw it away because it's about to go away anyway. And I'll keep a raid and throw away another raid. So it's time to see if my opponent has any aggressions. Oh god, I'm an idiot. I threw away a defense card, but if I kept it and drew an H2 defense card, I would actually be safe from aggressions. But now I am 1 off from being able to block an aggression with just a single H2 defense card. So he could just aggress upon me right now. I mean, he's going to steal resources, kill Michelangelo, which is whatever. He's about to die anyway. Or steal science. So I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it would have been nice to block that. Shoot. Especially because losing science is pretty awful at the moment. Okay. So he's got 4 science. He could get selective breeding still, although now he can only upgrade 1 of them. He has enough food somehow saved up that he can actually make an extra worker. He could go for journalism. It costs 5. No, it costs... What the hell does it cost? It costs 5 to upgrade. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to fix my military situation so I'm not behind him. And I actually need to get ahead of him on military. Because his culture is going to outpace mine. I'm about to drop to just 5 versus his 6, and he can easily get more by building these things once he fixes his food situation. My opponent is, it would seem he's yellow. Yellow means he's logged in but playing a different game. I guess I was thinking too much for his tastes. That's actually fine. I don't hold it against him because he has not used up any of his reserve time. The way it works in the app is that you get, when you play in the fastest speed, like, I forget how much. Shoot, I don't know how much. Is it like 2 minutes or 3 minutes per move? And you then have 5 minutes of reserve per age. And if you run out of time, then you're replaced by an AI. And you basically forfeit. One time I actually did lose to someone who got replaced by an AI, and that was very, very frustrating. But, yeah, so he hasn't used any reserve time, so it's fine for him to spend some of his reserve time, make moves in his other games that he's playing. I guess he's playing more than one at the same time, and just live that way. Okay, so what am I doing? Both cannons are in the back, so I should be able to get a cannon. Next turn, it's not likely that Napoleon will land in the 1 pip spot, which is sad. I could have actually guaranteed that if I had taken certain cards. But that's fine. I'll spend 2 civil actions to take him and play him, replacing Michelangelo. It's worth it to lose 4 culture in exchange for getting to keep an extra civil action, because remember, when you replace your hero, you get your civil action back. But if you play into a blank spot, which is what's going to happen if Michelangelo dies when we hit H3, it costs an extra civil action. So it's worth it to take Napoleon for 2, because I'm basically spending 2 civil actions for him. If I let him get down to 1 and I take him and play him over nothing, that also costs 2. So it's worth it to take him at 2 if the difference is replacing a leader or playing into a blank hole. So anyway, I'll take him. That's 2 of my actions. And then with 6 science, I think I've gotta just research riflemen and upgrade both my riflemen. That takes me up to, well, let's see, I'm at 11 with Napoleon. I'm up to 15 when I get both the riflemen up. And then I'm going to be at 7 minus 6 is 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 4 is 8. So I'll be able to research strategy the following turn, or I could just pass on that and grab cannon and get ready to roll with cannons. One thing I actually have to do is definitely play reserves next turn. 1, 2 for Napoleon, 3 for reserves, 4 for riflemen, then I have 1 civil action to work with. And I guess I could just use that. Let's see, how much is it going to cost to upgrade? It's from 2 to 5. So that's good, actually. That means I get to, as long as this new deposits triggers, I can do that and then still build a Stage of the Wonder and try to finish it the following turn. The longer that this sits here, the stupider it is. One problem with building this as well is it makes Age 3 Wonders more expensive to pick up by an action, which is kind of significant because I only have 5. somehow I could, I guess, try to get a bunch of science and get an H3 government. But H3 governments are pretty expensive. So you got communism, which is 18, fundamentalism is 16, democracy 17. It's a lot of science. I would pretty much have to do a revolution, and it's tricky. It's tricky to give up your entire turn in H3. Granted, maybe this would be the weird game where it's actually the right thing to do. Communism also gives you a bonus rock, and it costs a happy face, which it's kind of a problem because these two are about to go away at the end of H2. And if I lose a happy face, this worker becomes unhappy. I would have to, well, hold on. If I finish this ocean liner, I get an extra yellow pip, and I get a free worker each turn. I guess I actually could lose a happy face. At some point, I'd have to build a temple. Each temple, thanks to St. Peter's, is worth 2 happy faces. So there's that. Okay, my opponent's got 80 seconds left to come back in. This might be actually kind of interesting. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's going to do it. Well, I'm hoping that, the time pressure here forces him to maybe make a suboptimal move. I mean, he's got a lot of actions, a lot of cards, potentially a lot of things. Oh, he's still playing his event. Okay, so we both get our bonus rocks. It's great. Good to know I've got that. And now he's got to think about his turn. What is in here? Oh, this is all stuff he played. Wow, I didn't play any H2s. Main thing I'm worried about is Ravages of Time. So Ravages of Time is bad because I'd have to lose St. Peter's or Hanging Gardens, and it is rough. Hanging Gardens, I lose 3 happy faces. St. Peter's, I currently lose just 2, but I also forfeit the ability to, get bonus happy faces for future things I make that give happy faces. So that's, potentially a problem. Okay, he did some stuff. He, wow, did not do selective breeding. And he can't next turn. That's very, very interesting. Okay, well, I would have played an event had he not triggered the deposits, but since he did, I think I'm not going to play an event. There's no reason to play into this bad stuff. So I actually could finish the ocean liner and then put the Eiffel Tower under construction. I wish I didn't have this under construction, then I would have taken the Eiffel Tower. But anyway, no need to do all that stuff. Let's go ahead and take Napoleon, play him, Research Rifleman with Breakthrough, upgrade. This turns a bit of heat on. Now he's behind if he put anything nasty in this event deck. And I've actually got 2 civil actions to work with. Well, let's see. This is going to go down to 6. I actually could keep reserves for 1 more turn, which is interesting. And I could just build a couple of stages. I could take strategy for next turn. But I think I'd rather get going with my cannons. So what I'll do is finally raise my last... No, wait a minute. No. I think this farm is actually not as important as finishing this damn wonder. So I'm going to definitely build 1 stage. The question is whether I build a 2nd stage. 2nd stage right now I would still be corrupt because the blue token goes onto the wonder. So, crap. I have to pass on strategy in order to raise population and stop corruption. I mean, I could be corrupt. I think it's more correct not to be. Okay, so International Agreement, I hate this card. The strongest civilization can take up to 5 civil actions worth of cards, but they have to pass up their next political action. I really hate that thing. I'm just not even going to play it. Cold War is great. Strongest civilization gets 6 science. That would have been amazing to actually put in here and have in the mix right now. Other than that, Spy or Raid, not sure. Raid does take away a lot of his culture production, but when you destroy a building, the worker goes back in the pool. He can rebuild these pretty quickly because they're so cheap thanks to Shakespeare. It's basically just costing him actions, but he's got plenty of actions. So I'm going to actually get rid of the Raid. I'll keep the Spy. Maybe sometime I can steal 5 science. That could make a pretty big difference for my game. Sad I didn't take strategy. I probably could have taken strategy if I had not built a Stage of the Wonder, but I do want to finish this wonder. Okay, so the second cannon is unfortunately pretty deep in the back of the deck. My opponent, I'm guessing, is savvy enough to pick up this cannon because he's played a pretty smart game with Shakespeare. He completely caught me flat-footed with that. So I'm ahead on culture, 55 to 39, but he does make 2 more culture per turn than me, and his next theater is actually worth quite a lot. It's worth 4 culture. 2 for the theater, plus another 2 because Shakespeare himself gives 2 extra culture every time you have a pair of... Or for every library theater pair you have, and you can see he's got 2 libraries and 1 theater, so a second theater completes the pair. He could actually get rid of this worker, or this warrior. He doesn't need 3 warriors for his phalanx, so he can get rid of this thing and use it to build a theater for just a whopping 2 rocks, and then be shooting up to 11 culture per turn. Let's see what he does. So he's taking the cannon, smart. Lots of efficient upgrades. That might be for the journalism. But actually, I'm guessing it's probably for selective breeding. He's got 5 science, so now he can do selective breeding. Well, I definitely want to play an event. I don't have enough strength ahead of him to beat him with an aggression, but I can play an event and maybe trip something bad that he put in here. Oh, that's the worst. Oh, God. So the lowest culture civilization destroys an urban building from each other civ, so I'm going to lose one of my labs, which is 2 science per turn. It's awful. And the thing about it is I was going to probably be behind on him on culture pretty soon. Well played, sir. Okay. So what I could do here is take justice system and research it for an extra civil action. I wouldn't mind that. The main issue is I'm about to lose a lab. I could take navigation in case there's colonies in there. I could take and research cannon and just make a cannon. I mean, that's a lot of civil actions, especially because he's already taken cannon. There's a rule that you cannot take a tech card you've already picked up a copy of. I could take and research opera and make an opera for 3 culture return. That's an interesting idea. Or just finish the wonder. Let's just finish the stupid wonder. So now I can raise a population, have a lot of workers, which is great. I'm gonna want to put them on the military. We're going for the military game here. So with that in mind, I think I want to spend these reserves on rocks because I don't want to get food, because even though I make more rocks than food, I'm getting free workers. So I think we're good on that front. Main question is whether I want to upgrade my last food or take and research justice system. Then I cannot make a cannon. Shoot, I've got nothing to do with my action. You know what I'm actually going to do? It's a bit of a greedy play. I'm going to make a knight. This makes it more difficult for... Oh, right. I need to still spend a civil action. I got a minute left before I become replaced by an AI. Ah, jeez. I just don't see myself making operas this game. I think we're going to win militarily if we win at all. Because he doesn't have any infantry, so it's going to be a little bit tougher for him than for me to make tactics. So... yeah, with that in mind, none of this stuff actually is all that good, unfortunately. I guess Organized Religion's like a just-in-case card in case Ravages of Time hits. Justice System for an extra action is always tempting, but I just cannot research cannon next turn. I'd be 1 science short. Damn it. All right, well, running out of time, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to throw away this tactic because I don't need it. And I kept this, even though I don't want to play colonies, I really want to be able to play an event next turn so I can trip bad stuff I'm hoping he put in when he was ahead of me on strength. Okay, so he's getting 2 extra culture than me per turn. This turn, he's blown up a lab thanks to terrorism, which really sucks. And I cannot rebuild that lab. It costs 6 rocks and make a cannon at the same time. So I think I'm going to have to go for the cannon. And let's see, that'll give me 3 strength for the cannon, plus 2 for Napoleon is 5, plus 4. 3 plus 2 plus 4, because this is 4 better than a phalanx. 3 plus 2 is 9, I'm up to 26. Still not really close enough. It's actually good enough to start aggressing. Yeah, so I could spy on him, steal some science. That would be a pretty big deal if I could actually steal 5 science. He doesn't make much science himself, despite having Shakespeare up, which encourages him to make libraries. Alright, so he is upgrading journalism, which gives him a lot of culture and science. He's going to build the Transcontinental Railroad. I did not see that one coming. Wow, he is just really holding off on his food. Okay, this is a tough one. Air Force just shows right up. And that would be amazing for me. Oh, man. Okay, so let's play an event. Hopefully it's not Ravages of Time. That would be very, very sad. Aha! Okay, he has none of us have any colonies. No colonies have been played. Okay, so we're going to take cannon, and I'm actually considering taking the Air Forces. The main issue is that if I take Air Force, can I actually research it in time? And the answer is no, because it would take 18 science. I go up to 14. Well, if I build a lab right now, let's say I build a lab. 12 plus 4 is 16. I'd have to take the breakthrough, and I don't have enough to take Air Forces. Shoot. I'm just going to have to hope it's just one of those crappy things, but I just have to hope that the other Air Forces shows up soon. So I am going to do this to pressure him, because this is a lot of pressure. I really wish I could actually make a second cannon. I'm a little bit shy on that, sadly. So I'm going to grab Patriotism, which gives extra rocks. Breakthrough, which gives me extra science, which I desperately need. Sadly, this is when you research something, not up front. And I'm going to actually build an Age 1 lab to at least get 1 extra science per turn. Yeah, that terrorism was potentially game-winning for him, because losing that science slash the action slash the rocks to make it is just a really, really hard hit. All right, there's the second Air Force, which is really good for me, because now even if he takes these, I still get the other ones, which is awesome. It's just now it's a race against the clock for me to get the Air Forces online and draw a War over Culture as well. There's also Gandhi. Gandhi would screw me up completely. So what Gandhi does is he makes it so that you yourself cannot do aggressions or wars, but your opponents have to pay 3 extra actions for any aggressions or wars they play. So to declare a war over culture, I would have to spend a total of 6 military actions, which I don't have. So I would need to somehow find a way to also either pick up a government that gives me military actions. It need to be communism or fundamentalism. Because democracy has only 3, and or I'd have to get military theory, which was tough because that one costs 11 science for the 3 military actions that I need. Keep in mind, one of these military actions is Napoleon's. It's actually good I got the Kremlin. The Kremlin gives a military action. That makes me have a little bit more wiggle room. Democracy still isn't enough, but the other ones now are. Interestingly, none of the governments give 6 military actions. So if you want to declare war over culture against Gandhi, you have to have some other military action, either from a leader or from a military blue card or from a wonder that gives a military action. But in the base game, only the Kremlin gives military actions. So it's a little bit tough, actually, to get that 6th military action. So the extra culture from this lab, I think I'm really glad I made this play. It's a really significant play because now on my next turn I can actually research Air Forces. Whereas if I didn't have this lab, it would have taken me a whole extra turn to get up there. And an extra turn is an eternity in this game. Okay, so right now he's at the point where he's 12 strength behind me, so he actually has to have 2 Age 3 defense cards, which is quite unlikely. He could actually revolt into the Constitutional Monarchy, but if he... Oh, no! Shit, no. He's building Transcontinental Railroad, and that's going to give him 5 strength. Good play. I did not see it coming he would actually build this. So he's actually going to build this. He's going to go up to 19. At 19, 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 defense card blocks aggressions. Just barely. So I'm either playing an event hoping he puts something good in here, or I'm just throwing an aggression at him to make him pitch defense cards. Well, I think this is one of those times where you got to look at the deck and say, okay, what actually would be that significant? This is really bad. Each player loses a leader from the... That's not from the current age. That would lose me 6 strength from Napoleon now and 8 once I get the Air Forces online, which is a big deal. Let's see. This was actually terrible. Cold War I already put in there. Refugees would be great. He loses a worker, I gain a worker, and I essentially get a swing of 6 points against him. This is actually really good. I would love to draw 5 cards to increase my chances of getting a war over culture. And then we have a bunch of colonies, which I don't care about. So there's actually not that much good stuff. Oh god, what just happened? Oh, this is a visual bug that sometimes happens. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just go to the online lobby real quick. And hop back on in here. Hopefully clear up that glitch. I guess he played his turn while I was looking at stuff. He did not build the Transcontinental Railroad. He built another cavalry. This is very bizarre play because he... How did he lose his... Oh, he discarded his Age 3 military actions. Even if these are both defense cards, 15 plus 8 is 23, so I'm guaranteed to get an aggression. Oh my gosh, that is huge. So I can steal 7 rocks from him and stop him from building this wonder. Or I can steal 5 science from him and be able to get the Air Forces right now. Oh my god. This is an embarrassment of riches. What matters more? Stopping the wonder or gaining my own science? Shoot. He's got a revolutionary idea, so he doesn't mind too much about losing science, though it does stop him from making Air Forces himself. He stopped from doing Air Forces because he doesn't have any workers. I can't stop selective breeding because of the revolutionary idea, and he'd still be at 5 science. Shoot, I'm not sure. This is a tough one. It's such a rare situation where you have a choice of which aggression to play that is both guaranteed to come through. Ah, crap. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna do the plunder. Could be wrong, but we'll see. So I'm gonna steal 7 rocks. He has no food for me to steal. And so this way I'm not getting air forces is the thing. God, I don't know. So I can like make a cannon. I'd use patriotism. I'm just looking at what happens. Next turn, I can actually make 2 air forces. That is a large number of air forces. Can I do that next turn and build a temple this turn to get an extra worker, culture? Let's see. He really wants those rockets. I should hate draft those. It stops him. No, it doesn't. He can actually do a Napoleonic army as well, but he doesn't have military actions. Fudge, 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 fudge. I don't know. I don't know if that plunder is the right call or not. Okay, we're going for it. So let me back up. Does the game actually let me redo it? Because yeah, the game lets me redo it because I'm actually guaranteed either way. But okay, so Air Forces gives me an extra tactic. It would cost 7 plus 5 is 12. I'm 3 rocks shy of being able to make a cannon. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and do the plunder. We'll take the rocks. I'm gonna play patriotism, which would use up my last action as well. To get this, hate draft this, get a worker for free. And then my last action, I was thinking of maybe making a temple. It's an extra culture per turn. Gives me 2 extra happy faces. Gives me an extra worker, basically. I want to make 2 air forces next turn. Okay, well, let's do that. It's tough to pass on these reserves, but we're going to roll with it. Oh, I'm being corrupt? Ooh, can I still do that? 8 plus 4 is 12. Ah, that is actually a very important 2 rocks. Shoot. Oh, this corruption is killing me. Okay, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to play patriotism. I'm going to pay full price for the cannon. We'll use patriotism next turn. This turn, when I make the temple, I stop being corrupt. I still take air forces. I still hate draft. Wait, do I care? He has cannon. Why am I hate drafting rockets? That's stupid. There's no reason to hate draft cannon or tanks because he has the H2 text for those. So I have 2 civil actions. Oh my god. Well, I could just take a free rock, basically. Wait, you know what? Oh god, I hate doing this. This is such a difficult turn. So what I could do is I could actually use the patriotism now to spend a civil action on a turn where I seem to not have good things to do with civil actions. Do this, take this. I have an extra action because I don't need to hate draft the rockets, which means I can upgrade my last farm and do this. Or I could have also upgraded the... Oh, no! Then I can't make 2 air forces. No, that's bad. I do not want to spend any rocks. I definitely want to make 2 air forces next turn. Okay, so we do play the No, we don't play the patriotism, so we're not corrupt. We do take the air forces. We do get a free worker. We do make a temple. 11 plus 3 is 14. Okay, 12. I can't spend any more rocks. I can take 1 more card. It sucks that I can't play this patriotism, but that's just life. Do I want one of these leaders? This is points per level of labs, which I'm never going to get. This is just 2 happy faces, which I don't need. So yeah, that's stupid. I guess I'm just taking reserves, which means I can spend my last action to upgrade, say, a lab. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15. Okay, I have used up a lot of my reserve time. I only have 50 seconds. Okay, so it's 2 minutes per turn, 5 minutes of reserve. So now, basically, I'm in a bit of a tight spot because I don't have any more reserve time. I realize now I might have made a mistake by not taking tanks. I was thinking only in terms of hate drafting, but taking the tanks would have actually been good for me because it would open up H3 tactics, which I ended up drawing. So I still haven't drawn a war over culture. And I'm in kind of a rough spot because I really need to get one or else I can't win this game. He's getting... Well, I'm still technically ahead on culture, but, I mean, it's not going to last. Okay, so I've got the science for air forces. I can steal some more science. I was actually hoping to get another aggression from H2. This was a pretty bad draw. I think I already had this. How many cards did I draw? Yeah, I drew 2. So I drew 2 tactics that I can't use and will never be able to use because the tanks is falling off. Maybe I should have taken tanks. That could have been a potentially fatal blunder. Hollywood is points per level of lab, or per culture production, twice the culture production of labs and libraries. Sorry, not labs, theaters and libraries. So it's decent for him. It's 0 points for me. For me, mainly, all it would be is the two standard ones, the fast food chains, which is points per basically workers on cards, and then spaceflight, which is points per research. Even though I haven't researched that much this game, it would still be like a decent number of points. Okay, so did he do a revolution into Kanmon? Alright, he wants the military actions. I respect that play. Okay, so now if he has 2 defense cards, that's 12, 14. I can still get an aggression through, so I am just going to spy on him. Let me just make sure real quick he actually has enough science to steal. He does. Perfect. If he has 3 H3s, he can block it now that he can actually play all the cards. If this is an H2 defense and he had 2 H3 defenses, he could have blocked it as well. Those are all very unlikely things, however. Okay, so now well, if I make Air Forces, I draw 1 fewer card. And I want to draw as many cards as possible. So what am I doing, though, if I'm not building Air Forces? No, that's not true. Hold on. I do Air Forces. I play Patriotism, which gives an extra military action, as well as the bonus rocks, and I make an airplane. So now I'm very far ahead. I actually could make a second airplane, but there's no need to do that, since I haven't drawn a War of a Culture yet. I want to maximize my odds of getting one. What can I do? Well, I got 3 actions. Burning a hole in my pants. I guess I could upgrade my farm. It's an interesting move. I'd be making 1 food a turn instead of 0, which would take a lot of turns. It takes 7 turns to be able to get things. Yeah, that's actually pretty stupid, I think. Oh, shit, what else am I doing? Civil service for 2 extra civil actions? I don't know what I would even do with 2 extra civil actions. Reserves. I can't make any more labs because I'm still a despot. I'm at the urban building limit. Shoot. This is a really sad... Oh, I could research opera and make an opera. Wow, that's hedging my bets quite a lot. But, alright, let's roll with that. Oh, no. Problem with that is I can't make an airplane next turn. And I definitely want to make an airplane because I've got 2 armies, and an airplane would actually give me more stuff as well. No, that's stupid. Okay, so... running out of time. I have very low reserve time. I'm going to do this. That... and that, I could, like, get computers. All right, this is just a Hail Mary. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But I could potentially research computers and place Admire and get a bunch of points from computers. It's a possibility. No war cards. No aggression cards. That's a shame. Ah, he got a classic army. So with Air Forces, he's going to get an extra 13 strength. But I did steal some science from him. He's going to need 7 plus 6. Yeah, he's going to need an extra turn. Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this is basically 22 points right here. 22 points is a lot of points. Because either I get 11 and he doesn't, and I'm 11 ahead, or he gets 11 and I don't, and then I'm 11 behind. So that's the difference between minus 11 and plus 11. It's a really, really difficult call here to decide how to do this. God, I don't know. I could give up a whole army just to get it. You know what? I'm actually going to do that. I am willing to bid this army because I haven't drawn a War of a Culture yet. There's no guarantee that I will. And it's 22 points. Whoa! He didn't bid anything! Holy crap! Unbelievable! I can't believe it! Why didn't he bid more? Why didn't he? He should have... Well, I guess, you know, from his perspective, yeah, what's he going to do? Give up this army? If he sacrifices a unit, it goes into his bank. He can't even get it back out because he never fixed his food. So, yeah, maybe he just didn't want to get further behind. Whoa, that's amazing. So, by playing that card, he got 2 points, but he gave me 11 points. So I basically got ahead 9 points against him because he played that card. So that is just incredible. Okay, so here's Fast Food Chains. Very important card. Problem is, I don't have any civil actions. So it actually have to be in the one... I actually cannot pick up a wonder unless it is in the 1 pip area, and I spend my entire turn taking it. That's sort of the problem with having built all these wonders. I mean, I'm definitely using the workers from the ocean liner, so I can't say I regret it. But, yeah. So no war over culture, sadly. Next turn I'm going to be... Jesus. I guess I'm beating him on happy faces, so impact of happiness is the best. I'm getting a 10 point ahead. That's a bit illusory. He could very easily get more happy faces before the end of the game, and each one narrows that gap by 2. What's this? So I got 1 age 3 tech. He's got none. He's not going to get a lot of age 3 techs, but then again, neither am I. And then this is just a bunch of, like, if you get 2 points for each different thing you have. Okay, so he finishes the Transcontinental Railroad, gets Churchill, which is awesome, because Churchill gives you 3 culture per turn, or you can cash that in to instead get 3 science. 3 science and 3 rocks, only for military units. But that's great for me, because I don't care if he gets science and rocks for military units. I don't want him getting Gandhi. There's military theory. We both want that. I could spend most of my turn picking it up and playing it, which feels wrong. I mean, it's a 10-point swing, assuming one of us gets it, so it's actually kind of good. But I might be able to just beat him on culture here. I'm ahead on culture still. He's catching up, but I am still ahead. Well, first of all, let's play an event, because I'm going to. All right, well, that makes my decisions a lot easier. So there goes Napoleon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do some plan B maneuvering. I'm going to get computers, play Sid, upgrade, play, let's see, reserves or patriotism. Which one's the correct one? Patriotism lets me draw the max. Yeah, I might as well just do the patriotism then. And then, oh, it doesn't actually let me use up all the bonus rocks though. Okay, we'll go for the reserves. I'm not sure this is the correct player, but we're gonna do that. We're just gonna end the turn there. Oh, thank you, game, for reminding me about that. That's nice of you. Okay, well, I'm never going to use this tactic, and this is a pretty marginal event, so I'm going to pass up. Impact of technology might still actually end up being good. So, Sid, your labs produce 1 science less, but each one produces culture equal to its level, so I just basically lost Napoleon, but I gained 6 culture per turn. So now I'm kind of pivoting on my opponent. It was looking like I was going to go all in on military, but now I'm actually, like, looking to beat him on culture straight up. The colony is what really helped. Like, without the colony, I'd be at 96, which is a lot closer. But I'm making more culture than him per turn, and he lost his culture-generating leader, which is part of why that is. Okie dokie. So, I never drew any military things. Space flight. I really actually kind of wish that I had taken that civil service, because I would have to spend my entire action to pick up space flight, which sucks. A lot. But I might just be able to squeak out the game and win. The thing is, I would like to get a government, because if I got a government, I could make an extra lab, and each lab is worth 3 points. But on the other hand, I could just research opera, and each opera is worth 3 points. So I could just do that. Okay, so he's finally getting selective breeding. Oh, he destroyed a farm to make this worker happy. Wow, he was in a lot of trouble there. Okay, there's democracy. That would be good to get. I mean, my opponent probably won't take it except as a hate draft. All right, impact of balance is you basically take whatever you make least of and you double it. Usually people are at 6 with this. Hard to get a real blowout with it. I think this is actually a really good one for me now, because he does not make very much science. He makes only 4. I'm going to probably get 4 points from it, at least. Maybe I'll get 8 out of it. Basically, each age 3 tech that you're ahead of your opponent, you get to get an extra 4 points. Whoa, that's amazing! Oh, that Cold War, I totally forgot about it. So I can actually get democracy now. So fundamentalism, I get bonus strength, but I lose science. Yep. Oh, man, it's tempting to... You know what? Hold on. It's so tempting to get that space flight. So this fast food chains is more now. It's 20 versus the space flight's 14, but I'm going to research a bunch of stuff. Am I going to have time? The next turn of the game is my last turn of the game. So what am I going to do next turn? Next turn, I'm spending my entire turn to build the space flight for 14 points. Well, that's stupid. No, I might as well do fast food chains. Unless I can, like, take democracy, play democracy, gain civil actions. Shoot, you know what? It's probably correct to make the wonder, but I'm just going to take democracy because it's more fun. So we're going to do that. Sadly, I can't do opera, but I will grab... Oh, actually, I don't need opera because I got democracy. So my urban building limit goes up. I build an extra computer. And I get my free worker. And I have 3 civil actions, which sadly is not enough. Wait, could I have actually taken democracy and researched it and picked up space flight? No, I'm on a civil action short. What about if I do it with fundamental? I know I'm running out of time. What if I do it with fundamentalism? I can actually do that. The problem is... Why? What do I need that strength for? I don't. Okay, so democracy. Got 40 seconds left before I get replaced by an AI. We'll do that. We'll take the movies and the satellites. And so basically all I'm doing with that... Oh, yes. Basically all I'm doing with that is just taking stuff to research. Everything I research is worth 4 points because the impact of technology event is in there. Oh, I'm actually science short. I'm 4 science short of being able to research both of these. Whoops. And I cannot make any movies. Whoops. Okay, so I can't make a computer, which is sad. Wonders. Oh, hey, I got a lot from that. You get points for wonders, and the older the wonder, the more points it's worth. He got a lot from it as well. So I get a little bit ahead of him, but not super much. So he's got 2 turns left. He can make a space flight for 16 points. Let's say he makes another attack, so it'll be worth like 19 points. Internet is how good is that for him? Oh, that's better for me than for him. Wow, that's funny. Because internet is really good with Sid Meier. So basically, internet, what it does is it just takes up all your culture and science and strength made by urban buildings, and you just get that as points. And with Sid Meier, every computer that you have is worth 4 science because it loses 1 from Sid, but plus 3 culture. So each computer is worth 7. And then I'm getting an extra culture from this temple. That's why the total is 22. Well, sadly, I'm not going to be able to build this because my next turn's my last turn, and I don't have 14 rocks to make the internet with. Yeah, my next turn is going to be a really, really sad turn. All I get to do is research 1 technology. The satellites, like I've talked about before, you want to get the blue ones because there's also impact of progress in case that's in there. So that would just give me potentially 6 points if he was stupid enough to put impact of progress, but at least 4 points for the impact of technology. And then that's it. There's nothing else that I can do that's useful. I mean, I guess I could make 2 temples for 2 extra culture. That's pretty much it. I could actually spend 6 rocks to make a lab. That would be worth 1 culture. No, so it's better to make 2 temples. He got the military theory. Good for him. He's 2 science short, even with Churchill, to be able to get an Air Force. I don't know how he would make an Air Force or why he would make an Air Force. The only reason to make an Air Force would be to beat me if he thinks I played Impact of Strength. Impact of Strength is you get whoever has the higher strength gets 10 points. So if he thinks I played it, like he was really confident that I played it, then he can beat me on strength at the last round in the closing bell, so to speak, and steal it from me, which is a 20-point swing, granted. Impact of population. I should be able to crush him on this. Oh, I don't even need to go for impact of strength. I crush him on this because it's 2 culture for every content worker above 10, and he was out of food all game, so he doesn't have any content workers. Okay, so I think we're just doing this. I mean, yeah, he has an extra turn to make more stuff, but I don't care. I'm gonna get an extra worker from my ocean liner service anyways. Yeah, he got screwed by the happiness. It's plus 2 culture per happy face, minus 2 per discontent worker. I have to be careful though. If I run out of reserve time, I get replaced by AI. So I didn't play Impact of Strength, therefore I don't care about making an Air Force, so I think I'm just going to make 2 temples. Can he build the internet? No, because he's got spaceflight. So nothing matters for him at all, in the slightest. So for coolness points, we'll just take the internet and pass. Remember, you can't use yellow cards the turn you play them, and he doesn't have the science to get the communism. I don't even know why he'd want it. So that's that. I think I got him. Yeah, so I've got a pretty big lead. He builds the space flight for 16 points. He could actually play Churchill and then research Air Force for an extra 3 points on the space flight. That's actually worth doing because he loses 3 points from Churchill. Churchill, you're giving up 3 points in order to get this 3 science and 3 rock bonus for military units and techs. But the Air Forces is also worth 3 points in case I put in Impact of Technology, which I very well could have. Right now he's got, what, 1 H3 tech. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 more than him, and each one that I have more than him is worth 4 points, so I get 12 points for that event currently, and he can knock it down to 8 if he researches the Air Force. So that is worth then the 3 points for the Churchill that he loses from playing from the Churchill bonus. Let's see if he played. Yeah, he played it. Yeah, this is a good opponent. I think he played very well. I don't think this person played badly at all. I think his main mistake was that he did not fix his food in time. I think he needed to get that selective breeding up a lot sooner. He actually did play Impact of Progress, so the satellites were actually worth a lot. They were worth 10 points just for researching satellites. 6 for this, because it's 2 culture per level of your government and special technologies, plus the 4 for the impact of technology event. Also, this was amazing he put it in there, because I had 0 until I got democracy and satellites, which gave me a whopping 12 immediately. We got tech, so I should gain... Yeah, he narrowed it down to just 8. Yeah, so I get 8 points against him on that one. Agriculture, he actually beats me out in the end, funnily enough, for 5 points. And then government. Ooh, that's really nice. He probably didn't expect me to do as well as I did, because the democracy gave me, let's see, it's 2 culture per civil action, 1 culture per military. Democracy, compared to despotism, increases your civil actions by 3 and your military actions by 1, so it's an extra 7 points. So that was pretty good. And all in all, I'd say my opponent played well. Getting above 200 is really solid. A 40-point lead is not that big of a deal. So good job, B. Fred. Goes a good game. I think maybe the food let you down. And, I mean, I could have walloped him if I'd gotten a war over culture. But, you know, you can't count on getting a war over culture. So I think I kind of had to play honestly, and I'm not sure. Let's see, how... Oh, this is a really high-rated player. Holy crap, he's a level 40. Yeah, so see, I was right. I did say this guy was good, and he was good. Yeah, anyway, if any experienced players watch this and you have any comments, please do share. I'd love to know what you think about that game. I mean, it was a complicated game. These games are always complicated. I probably made mistakes. He probably made mistakes. Maybe it's oversimplifying to say that he lost because of the food. Not sure. So it was a great game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and please like and or subscribe. I'll see you again soon.